to Sustainability Ventures, where we break down the biggest sustainability claims and uncover what's real and what's just marketing. Today, we're diving into a huge topic affecting all of us who fly. Are airlines actually carbon neutral? Or is it just smart marketing wrapped in fancy math? Many major airlines proudly claim net zero flights. But when you dig deeper, things get very interesting. So let's take off into the real story behind carbon neutral aviation. Air travel is responsible for nearly 3% of global CO2 emissions, and that number is growing. People are becoming more climate conscious. Governments are adding stricter regulations, and customers prefer brands that look sustainable. So airlines had to react fast. Their answer? Earth carbon neutral flights, offset programs, guilt-free fly options. But the big question is, do these programs actually make flights carbon neutral? Or is this simply a survival strategy dressed in green branding? Let's start with the basics. A single long-haul flight can emit as much as 1 to 3 tons of CO2 per passenger, more than some people emit in an entire year. Aircraft burn thousands of liters of jet fuel every hour. So when an airline says your flight is carbon neutral, it's not because the plane magically stopped polluting, it's because of something else: math. Here's the truth. Most airlines achieve carbon neutrality through offsets, not actual emission reduction. Offsets are basically, I emit carbon here, but I pay someone somewhere else to avoid or reduce carbon. Common offset projects include tree planting, forest protection, renewable energy projects, methane capture, and community cooking stoves. In theory, this sounds great. In practice, it gets messy, very messy.
Offsets rely heavily on assumptions, and this is where the math gets tricky. Many offset projects claim things like, we saved 100,000 tons of CO2 because we would have cut down this forest, or someone might have done it. These are called counterfactual scenarios, imaginary baselines. So airlines aren't reducing real emissions today. They are paying for future possible savings, claiming those savings today, and labeling your flight as carbon neutral. This is where critics say the system becomes mathematical fiction. One of the biggest issues is double counting. Example, a country plants a forest and counts it toward its climate targets. An airline buys credits from the same forest and also counts them. Now the same tree is being used to cancel emissions twice. This artificially reduces global emissions on paper, but not in reality. And because there's no global enforcement, the loophole is massive. Another major issue is even when airlines offset CO2, they rarely include non-CO2 effects: contrails, nitrogen oxides, water vapor, and other chemical interactions in the atmosphere. These can warm the planet 2 to 3 times more than CO2 alone, but they're conveniently left out of most carbon neutral calculations. So when you see 100% carbon neutral flight, it usually means only CO2, not total climate impact, and not actual net zero flying. Here's the good news. Real solutions do exist. The aviation industry is working on sustainable aviation fuel, green hydrogen aircraft, hybrid electric planes, more efficient flight routes, lightweight materials, and direct air capture partnerships. These technologies can reduce emissions at the source, not just on paper. But they're expensive, and they won't be mainstream for at least another 10 to 20 years. Until then, offsets remain the shortcut and the controversy. Here's the truth. Airlines claiming carbon neutrality are not lying, but the claims often rely on creative accounting, optimistic assumptions, and complicated math. Offsets are a tool, not a solution, and they shouldn't distract us from real innovation. As travelers, we deserve transparency. As global citizens, we need real progress. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who flies often. Together, let's push for a future where flights are actually clean, not just marketed as clean. See you in the next video.